Good day, brothers. Today I'm going to talk about how to appear more confident. It's not going to be a long video. It's very easy and simple. 3 factors that we're going to address with a small bit of add-on. So we're going to start with the add-on and then move to those 3 factors. The first thing that you want to do is you want to define competence. You want to define competence yourself. You want to have a definition of competence from what you think competence is, right? If you want to appear more confident, you need to know what competence is. Now, according to the Oxford Dictionary, it's the ability to do something successfully and or efficiently. For me, competence means being able to get stuff done. So my definition correlates with the Oxford definition, and you're going to have to do the same. You're going to have to define what competence is for you, find that correlation, and then we can move from there. Now, the 3 factors of competence. These 3 factors can be applied when you talk to your bosses, when you talk to people socially. This is how you appear more confident. But note that at the end of the day, you're still going to have to do the work. You can't just appear competent. There's still some work that needs to be done in the background. The work that you need to do is the following. Firstly, you're going to work on your appearance. You need to appear more stoic. You need to appear that you are in control of yourself and your surrounding situation. How then do you move to look like a stoic? You never rush. And in my notes here, I said, think before you respond. So just before you respond, if you had a conversation with somebody, before you decide to just chip in or talk over them, take a moment, listen to what they said. Process what they said. If you pause for a moment, people think that you have heard them. You're chewing on and you're processing what they have said to you, and you can respond appropriately. It makes you look so much more competent if you don't rush your answers and your responses. The second thing that you can do is act prudently. And by that I mean you act upon what you think. You don't immediately act. You sit, you process, and then you move on to act from there. Act prudently. The third thing for never pushing would be to act after you have thought. That's how I just described it, to act prudently. Always rationalize, always take a moment to think before you just act. That's how you appear more stoic. That's how you appear more competent. From there, we're going to discuss a small acronym which we call SOLA. SOLA means to face something or somebody squarely. The second thing is openness, an open posture. So don't sit like this, don't do this. Open posture, I'm inviting you to a conversation. The third thing is the L stands for lean towards somebody. So doing this makes it look like I'm not open to a conversation. I have my own meanings and thought, and I'm not going to change it. But if I do this, it looks like I'm interested in you. It looks like I'm talking about something serious. I have an open posture and I'm leaning towards you, what's being said. Or if you're listening to somebody, if you lean towards them, you're telling them that what they're saying is important and you want to know what they're saying. Then the E in SOLA stands for eye contact. Maintain good eye contact with anybody that you talk to, whether it's a social situation, whether you talk to your bosses, you want to maintain good eye contact. It just shows that you're interested, your attention is where it should be, it's not lurking around. Your attention is with the person you're talking to. The last thing is R in SOLA, it means relaxed. I'm relaxed, my shoulders aren't tensed, I'm not sitting like this, my shoulders are relaxed, my body posture is relaxed, it's neutral. It means that it tells you that I'm not in a rush to go somewhere. So my fully undivided attention is currently with you as my viewer. And the same happens when you listen to somebody. The same happens when you talk to somebody. If you have a relaxed and neutral posture, you always tell them you're not rushed to get away from them. You're not rushed to listen to their responses. They shouldn't rush their response to you as well, so that they have your fully and undivided attention. Then the second factor that we're going to discuss after appearance is speech, the way you talk. And I have a few factors here that I'm going to read to you that I've written down. It's firstly, talk in lower tones when you want to put emphasis on something. The second thing you can do is talk in higher tones to show excitement. And I'm going to show you an example. The sentence that I'm going to use, it's been a wonderful evening. And just by changing the tone, it displays totally different feelings. If I tell you it's been a wonderful evening, truly, you can feel the seriousness that I've really enjoyed this situation. But if I tell you, you know what, it's been a wonderful evening, I really enjoyed this, you can see I've been excited by the situation, the party or something has been fun, I really enjoyed it, it has energized me, and the person that is listening to this, that is you now as the viewer, feel that you have either thrown a very great and energetic party, or that you have thrown a very great evening ballet that has been exceptional, that truly has touched the soul. So display different tones for different emotions. Competence and strength can sometimes be shown in greatness by the sound of your voice and the tone of your voice, displaying different emotions. Don't say stuff like and ah. And ah will do you in. So as you're talking, you don't want to say especially when you're talking to a boss. When you go into your boss's office, you don't want to, when you talk about listing stuff, let's say the boss in the early mornings gave you a list of things to do and you're sitting there, and as you go back later the evening to report to the boss, you don't want to go, boss, I did this, and this has been done, and also this went wrong, but we did this. And do you see that it sounds very incoherent? Doesn't sound like a competent. Instead, if you just took a moment before you walked into your boss's office and organized your thought, you would have went in, boss, this happened, this happened, this happened. Here we had a little hiccup, but I did this to fix it, and then this and this and this and this happened. The boss will immediately think, I have a very competent employee. They figured it out. The list is done. Thank you. Competence is being able to get stuff done. That's what you did. You went in, you gave him the list. Just by that small speech pattern, you have changed the view of yourself from being incompetent to competent, just by the way you talk, your speech patterns. All right? Then the last thing is, don't take too long pauses when you're talking to somebody. If you sit there and you're like, also, it shows incompetence. It shows that you don't have your thoughts organized. You went into the conversation unprepared. If it's in a social setting, it's fine. But if it's in a situation where you're talking to your boss, where you're talking to somebody important, always appear prepared. That's competence. That shows them you're competent. They gain a view of respect because you somewhat appear competent. You have been prepared to do this for a while now. And then lastly, avoid monochromaticness. In other words, don't sound like a robot. It's not worth it. You will bore anyone that listens to you if you sound like a robot. That's just the fact of the matter. Sometimes I sound like a robot, and I'm guilty of this as much as the next person. In my videos, I truly don't always use different tones, different pitches, different paces to display what I want to talk to you about. And then lastly, we have the third factor, and this is the most important factor for you to appear competent. If you don't have this factor, I'm sorry to tell you, not even if you have put in extensive effort in the first two factors, you won't appear confident because you'll be found out for your incompetence. And the third factor is action. If you don't have competent actions, you'll eventually be found out for being incompetent, no matter how great a facade you put up. Your actions have to be competent. In other words, if you get a task, let's say you're in university, your lecturer gives you a task, do it immediately. Do it, get it done, ask questions afterwards. If you're not sure how to do the task, do it anyway. Get it done. After it's done, go to your lecturer, ask, hey, is this okay? Is this not okay? If you're in a work setting, if your boss asks you to do something, do it. Do it even if it's wrong. Get it done. Ask questions immediately afterwards. This can't work in every setting, and I know that. Sometimes you're on a crunch. You're going to have to while you're doing it. If there's no room for error, don't just do it to get it done. Ask questions. Sometimes, for me, the definition of competence is getting stuff done. But the meaning of that means that if somebody asks me to get something done, I won't go ask them for help, but I ask anybody else. They don't care how you get it done. It's just that it is done. So no matter how you get the task done, do it right as best you can and get it done. That's competence. Actions displays the greatest competence. Unfortunately, that's how it's going to be. No matter how great your facade in the first two factors, if you don't have competent actions, you won't be competent. No matter what you play, if you have a leadership role, if you have something to do, a task has been given to you, if you fail at that task, your appearance of competence will fail. Your appearance of competence will take a hit. No matter how important position you hold, your appearance of competence will always take a hit when something like that happens. This has been Brother Spearham's Shield, and I hope today's video has been very informational. Remember, solar, it's a very important part in a social setting, and ensure that your actions are competent. Always remember your speech patterns, and have a lovely day.